So this is how we last left our proton pack. Looks pretty good. It's upside down. So what we're going to do this time, this is going to be finishing and painting, right? First thing we're going to do now that we have it nice and primed, everything's smooth enough. I mean, I can still kind of see the text. I'll add weathering in there. Doesn't matter. It seems they might pop until we put the motherboard on the back. Not terribly worried about that either. The next step is going to be to silver the entire thing. And I am using Testors Silver. So we're just going to put a light coat over the whole thing. We'll be back in a minute. So I went out of order a little bit. I primed it and then I got all excited and I hit it with silver. I should have done the weld marks first, then hit it with more primer and then silver, but it's not the end of the world. We're using hot glue anyway. There are 3 places that need welds. All along this cap, all along this cap, and then I normally only do the outside of this piece here. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm using hot glue, and I'm just going to put down a light bead. What I wouldn't give for a rotary table right now. I think my glue gun might be a little too warm at the moment. So I'm just giving it a little squeeze every couple of spots. Every like 1/4 inch. When I do the outside of this one, I'll bring you in so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So that's kind of the effect I'm going for, right? Not the best weld in the world, but it's not supposed to be. So I'm going to come over to you. We're going to angle down so you can see exactly what I'm doing along this outside edge. So again, I'm just using hot glue. I'm trying to simulate what I would do with a welder. It's kind of hard with just a glue gun. But basically, we'll go this way. Just giving it a little extra squeeze. These aren't supposed to be good welds, which has always bothered me. Because judging from the rest of Egon's stuff, you would think his welds would be just as good as everything else. So I'm just putting a dollop and I'm trying to stack them up on top of each other. Let's do that from the other side. Unfortunately, my glue seems to be a little warm, so everything's just kind of melting together. I have a feeling instead of welds, this is just going to look like hot glue. I suppose if I had a low temp setting, it would help a lot. Unfortunately, I do not. So, we work with what we have. And just let everything cool off, and then we will hit it with some primer and then silver, then be where we really should. silver base coat is on. We're going to use the toothpaste method for weathering. Take toothpaste, something hard. I'm using a zip tie. Kim uses toothpicks. It's easier. You want to look at all the high spots. Anywhere that has a chance to get a scrape, a scratch. This is one of those spots where the more reference you have, the better the end result is going to be. Most times, the more reference you have, the better results are going to be. We tend to gloss over actual details or fill things in that we think might be there but really aren't. So I'm just applying a thin layer of toothpaste as masking fluid. You can use anything really. Any water soluble goo will work as a masking fluid. I like toothpaste because no matter what, the worst case scenario, my prop is going to smell like toothpaste. And I can think of a lot of worse products for it to smell like. I'm just looking for high points, right? Hitting the edges. I prefer a hard brush or hard applicator to a brush just because it's easier to make a scratch look organic. If you're using a brush, things tend to round off or smooth themselves a bit, and you don't want smooth in here. You want lots of detail. Lots of spots where things get hit. Got to be careful not to add. If you outline the top, it's going to look weird. There's going to be spots that, you know, don't have any scratches in them. So keep that in mind. Think about the life of the life of the prop. What has it been through? Where does it get dropped the most? What things on it aren't metal? What things are? So now I'm just going to go over this whole thing and apply scratches and dings. And there's spots that I feel need more, I can always add dry brushing. Spots that need less, I can always paint black once I've washed everything off. It's a slow and tedious task, but it's going to look really good when it's done. Another thing to keep in mind, this whole area here is recessed. It'd be real hard for something to get in there and scratch. So if you do want to put a scratch or two in there, I like bringing them all the way over from the edge. So it looks like something hit it and drug across, as opposed to just hitting the middle. Always aim for the corners. There we have it. Whole thing's covered in a light film of toothpaste. Right? Try not to glob too much in any particular area. Everything else is going to be done with dry brushing. But there should be enough here to give me a good basis for. So now we spray it with a nice flat black. Give it an hour and we're going to wash everything off. We're back in my kitchen because I think this is neat. So we're going to wash all this off. That is pretty cool. I really like that. And it's just toothpaste, and then you spray it black and you wash it off, and this is the kind of weathering you get. It's fantastic. Just gotta make sure you get all of it. So we're going to do some dry brushing to add a little bit of highlights here and there. And the paint is almost done. I taped off this top piece here, as this is supposed to be silver. There we go. That is not too shabby. Alright, here we are. Everything has been washed off. All of the toothpaste has been, all our masking fluid has been removed, and it looks fantastic. I'm really happy with how this looks. Now, of course, there's a couple spots that I missed. You know, and a little bit in here, a little along this edge here, you know, here and there. We're gonna do that. A little bit of dry brushing. Super easy. It's a useful skill to have. I've gone over it a couple times, we're going to go over it again. All we do is we dip our paintbrush, dry as much of it off as we can, and just lightly go over anywhere we want. The less paint you have on it, the easier it is to control. And there's not many places that really need this. This is just a slight bit of touch up here and there. You know, we're going to miss things. It happens. This bolt, I want this bolt to be more silver. A bit along this edge, a little bit along this edge. That's all there is to it. Pick it up, look at it, look at a spot that looks too light. Add a little bit more interest to it. Keep in mind, recesses like in here, probably not going to have anything. We are dangerously close to being done with the paint techniques. I'm just using tester silver. I mean, I was going to use Sharpie, but I want this plastic piece on top to be more silver because it just looks like gray plastic at the moment. I'm not painting the whole thing silver because that just leaves a smooth effect, and that's not what I'm going for. I like texture in my fabric, in my props. It's the only way to really make a thing look real. A little more along the ladder here. Light hand. Light hand is the key to this technique. I think that might do it. Let's close everything up. Clean off our brush and see where we're at. I'm happy with it. I think we're going to call the base paint done. There's a couple of other things we need to paint. This piece, these pieces. So we'll get to that right now and I'll show you what I'm about to do. Alright. The screw is getting painted black. And then I'm going to dry brush silver all around it because I want the dark inside, right? Cyclotron lenses. I'm using Tester's enamel spray. It's transparent. It's primarily designed for taillights, so it lets a lot of light through. Light, even coats. This stuff loves to splatter. So we're going to take care of that right now, real quick. Haven't done much painting on screen, so we're going to do that now. Luckily, none of this needs a lot. Should have gloves on. Should have a respirator on. That's it for that. We're going to do the same with this one. Stuff does not like coming out even. In the end, it's not going to matter. Right now, it's slightly annoying. It's also the end of the can, so that makes a difference too. Light coats. Yeah. Alright. I'm going to let the stuff completely dry. We'll be back in a minute. We are completely done with painting at this point. Next step is going to be putting everything back together. We're going to put all the pieces back on, finish everything, probably end up cutting the back motherboard. We are very close to being finished. I'm very, very happy with how this is turning out. The next video, I'm also going to put in a light and soundboard. I know in the beginning I said I wasn't going to. And then the first comment was, I can't wait to see the soundboard you're putting in. So I'm going to put soundboards in. I'll do anything if you say my name 3 times. But I think we're going to call this here. Don't want to make the video too long. I do that a lot. So, go do some busting. We'll see you next time. And if you made it this far, you can do the you know, like and subscribe thing if you want. If not, you know, I'll see you next time.